Welcome, Special Chronicles friends. This is the live stream of the Special Chronicles show, episode 328, on the road to Abu Dhabi, Special Olympics World Games 2019. And our guest this week is Trent Hampton of New York, competed in the triathlon. You can download the audio podcast that will be available on January 27th. And you can go to specialchronicles.com/WorldGamesAD, and that is on the graphic that you see right now in front of my face. So you can go there to download the audio podcast, and you can live tweet with us with the hashtags Cheer4USA and Special Chronicles World Games. And you can text in your comments anytime to feedback@specialchronicles.com. And here we go. You're listening to a Special Olympics World Games 2019 podcast series on the Special Chronicles show. This is episode 328. This week, our guest is Trent Hampton of New York, a Special Olympics USA athlete competing in triathlon. Is coming up right now on specialchronicles.com.
This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Special Chronicles presents our Special Olympics World Games 2019 podcast series, hosted by Sergeant Shriver International Global Messenger Daniel Smrokowski. Here, popular conversations with Special Olympics athletes, unified partners, and coaches who will take on the world in 18 sports at the Special Olympics World Games in Abu Dhabi, March 14th to the 21st, 2019. This is the podcast series where we chronicle the stories of the determined and lead the inclusion revolution. Tune in right now as we meet the determined on specialchronicles.com. For show notes and to follow our Special Olympics World Games 2019 coverage, please visit us at specialchronicles.com/WorldGamesAD. That's specialchronicles.com/WorldGamesAD. Our Special Olympics World Games 2019 podcast series on specialchronicles.com is produced in partnership with the Special Olympics USA communications team. We invite you to cheer for USA and follow at Special Olympics USA on social media and learn more about our USA delegation at specialolympicsusa.org.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Podcasting since 2008, this is the show where we're broadcasting disability stories from an insider's perspective, and we are giving a voice to people with special needs. This is your weekly guide to finding joy, acceptance, and inclusion. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome back to the Special Chronicles program. Our guest on the program this week is Trent Hampton, a Special Olympics USA athlete competing in triathlon at our upcoming World Games 2019 happening in Abu Dhabi, March. I should have those the date the week of March 14th, I believe. So, welcome to Special Chronicles, Trent.
Welcome.
And
thank you for having me.
And yeah, it's joy to have you on the program this week. And by the time our listeners are hearing the audio podcast, I'm going to actually be in DC at our international headquarters. But that's for a whole nother episode that we'll be talking about, hopefully. But let's have you introduce yourself to, well, a little bit short on time here, so folks, we're going to try to keep this episode to a little shorter than you're used to, but why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners and tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, what disability you're diagnosed with, and your connection with Special Olympics.
My name is Trent Hampton. I am one of 10 family members, and I was diagnosed with cognitive delay, which is a acute learning disability. My connection with the special needs community involves being a coach, a mentor, and an athlete representative on and off the field. And my role in the USA Olympics, Special Olympics USA team is I will be competing in the triathlon, which I'm most proud of, as swimming was not one of my strongest points.
Awesome.
However, over time, I just developed strength and courage and got past the fear spectrum of being in water and just being able to go out there and compete with athletes of similar abilities.
Awesome. Well, how did you first get involved in Special Olympics? And then maybe you can go into your favorite part of competing.
Well, I got involved in high school because I was always part of the Kiwanis International, which is a volunteer organization. They select students, juniors and seniors from their local high school to volunteer. First, I was involved with working with kids, but then there were opportunities to volunteer at Special Olympics events, and I was a volunteer at first in high school, and then about 4 or 5 years later, I became an athlete because I liked the fact that I was able to work with those that might be more disabled than I am, and now I'm a role model, so I get to work with these other athletes and compete and be on the same field and in the same situation with all the rest of them.
Awesome. Well, that's exactly why I love competing as well. How did you? And I'm sure because of time's cut short today, I'm sure we'll have to have you on the program again in the future.
Yeah, sure.
But and the first time that I actually went to New York last summer with my mom, so that was awesome to get a chance to visit your area. But how did you get selected to compete at World Games 2019? Can you recount this story for our listeners and viewers?
Well, first of all, it was a surprise to me because I've been amongst many athletes from New York and Long Island that have gone to World Games, National Games, and every games that there ever was. And I thought to myself, I said, at one point, hopefully I'll get to go to a World Games. And then last year, June, I got a phone call from my local regional office. It was after work, I worked all day and then I was exhausted. So to hear that phone call was just another dose of energy. And then, I was told that I was going to World Games. I was like, really? No way. And it was just like something that I always wanted to do was compete on that level because it takes a lot of discipline and being a role model and showing good sportsmanship, showing courage to be involved and to get picked to go to these games. Because they don't just take anybody, there's criteria, and more so these days the criteria is more strict than it's been in the past. So you kind of have to be involved, be an athlete leader. I was on the Athlete Congress for about 4 years, so I did that. I got to speak a lot, and then it gave me the opportunity, and a lot of people saw fit that I would be a perfect role model.
Awesome. Well, as all listeners know, last fall you took part in a training camp. I believe it was,
which was fun.
Yeah, it was in Delaware,
Newark, Delaware.
New York, Delaware. Can you recount your adventures at the training camp and then go into what you're looking forward to in?
We spent about 1 week in New York, the Newark area of Delaware. So we were at the University of Delaware campus, the Blue Hens, which was very funny because I didn't know what a Blue Hen was, but it was one of the best experiences I got to partake in meeting up to World Games. I mean, I've had athletes here on Long Island that I've gone to training camp and celebrations to send them off, and this is my opportunity. And it was a lot of fun. I met my male and female triathlon teammates that will be going. Chris Vines from New Jersey and Melanie Holmes from Wyoming, who will be competing with me. So it involved some running, some swimming, some track work, some swimming, a lot of grueling, intense training and some filming. And I even got to swim in the reservoir, in Delaware Reservoir, which was clean, fresh water. I mean, you could taste it. It was awesome. So, and to top it all off, I was awarded a bike for a competition because Special Olympics Delaware felt that I could use a little bit more enhanced training equipment. So I was awarded a bike for the games.
Awesome. And
I met a lot of I met my triathlon coach. I met a lot of people from across the state. Great dinners, great fellowship with the university, the track and field department at University of Delaware. I give them a shout out because they were behind us the whole week. They took time off they actually had off from school the whole week to be with us. You know, the coaches gave the athletes off that week from training, from, some classes just to be with us. And shout out to the head track and field women's coach. I hope that she's listening or she gets wind of this. She deserves the recognition, and her team and her athletes.
Awesome. Well, what are you looking forward to in Abu Dhabi?
First of all, the UAE from Washington and from Dubai were at Newark, Delaware. They were with us in training camp on the last day, and I got to meet a lot of the people from Dubai. So I'm looking forward to seeing their beautiful city, which I heard that they rebuilt. I heard that they rebuilt the city, preparing it for Special Olympics. They've been doing this for a couple of years now. I heard that there's new state-of-the-art stadiums and new landscaping and everything. I've heard that they built it up, and we got a glimpse of it, and we got a nice show of the of Abu Dhabi and India and where we're going. And I hear it's going to be beautiful. I've gotten a report from other people that just came back and that are going down there. I hear that I'm going to have a good time, and they hear that it's going to be a different environment, and I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to it as well. Hopefully I'll get to meet you in person when we're in Abu Dhabi. I'm going to be there as a Southern Shriver International Global Messenger.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet you because I really have a lot of respect for the Shriver for the Timothy Shriver organization, because they're the reason why athletes like us can compete and do things.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually met his son actually.
Tim?
Yeah, I met him. I met him at he was at one of our regional games on Long Island.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I met him a couple of times. One, I've got a picture on my desk here when I met him at the World Games in Los Angeles.
Yes.
And then last summer, during our 50th anniversary that we had here in Chicago, I actually got to interview him and introduce him as well. So as we come to a close, do you have any advice for others who want to compete?
My advice for athletes that are going to World Games is don't be afraid of being away from home, because it hasn't hit me yet, but I'm probably going to have a little bit of homesickness. Maybe not, but I'm going away from home, not upstate. I'm going overseas. So this is going to be a whole different experience for me. So I may have a little bit of tears here and there, but I think I'll be okay. But my advice is be ready to embrace the experience. Take your time. Keep the nerves down. Don't get excited because you want to save energy for your competition. You don't want to be out of breath. You don't want to have your heart rate up, because then it makes competition a lot harder. Mm-hmm. Focus on the experience. Take in as much as you can. Meet people. It's important that we're there to compete, which is important we're there, but focus on the experience. Focus on why we're there. Let's show India and others that we are what we are. We are who we are. We're no different than anybody else, and we're all on the same page. That's what I believe.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Why is it important to choose to include? As you know, a big thing with Special Olympics is the inclusion revolution. So why do you feel it's important to choose to include?
The thing with Special Olympics is that over the years, I've been in the organization for about 10 years, and this will be my first time going on the world level. I've been to the international level. It's great. But a lot of people get this stigma about that the organization is just about people who have issues. My thing is, about this organization is that it's for everybody, whether you're high functioning, low functioning, slow, fast, whether you can write, whether you can't write, whether you can see, whether you can't see, whether you can hear, whether you can't hear. We're all the same. In my case, I'm a little bit more high functioning, so I'm able to do more things, a little bit more faster, better than others. But that doesn't mean that the person with Down syndrome can't run as fast as I can't pull as much as I can pull, can push as much as I can pull. We're all the same. And a lot of people get the stigma that it's about the handicapped athlete, and it's not called handicap. It's Special Olympics. That's what it's called. Yeah. And it's about us coming together through sport, through social interaction, and through activities to help us better ourselves and be more productive members of society.
Awesome. I definitely agree as well. And just like you, I'm also high functioning as well. Do you see? Is it easy or hard for people when you tell them about how you're going to be competing at the World Games and in Special Olympics? Is it easy or hard for them to believe that you're a Special Olympics athlete?
Some people, because, I'm very intelligent and I speak very well and I'm not really camera shy. I can deal with the media. I want other athletes to see that have these limitations, that they can do anything. I always said that. I want these athletes to know that they can do anything, everything and anything they want to do if they work hard at it. And that's all I did all my life was work hard. I struggled a lot and I worked hard. And that's why I got where I got.
Absolutely.
I believe it. So people have to get away from that stigma. They have to respect. I believe they should respect the organization, and the sky's the limit for the organization. It's not going anywhere. It's only going to get better.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely agree with you. So, how can our listeners and viewers follow you and Special Olympics USA online?
You can. I'm on Instagram. _rock79. I'm on Facebook, under Trent Hampton. You could also find me on, my, We Are Athletes, Incorporated, my mainstream running team, and, Special Olympics Long Island, New York.
Awesome. Well, I'll put links to all that in the show notes on specialchronicles.com for episode 328. And our listeners can also follow at Special Olympics USA, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and SpecialOlympicsUSA.org is where they can learn more and I think subscribe to their newsletter. And because I'm the athlete leader who's on the communications team for Special Olympics USA. So do you have any final thoughts on your overall time here today?
Okay, my final thoughts are: do the best you can. Let yourself win. If you cannot win, be brave in the attempt. Make sure that before and after your training, make sure you're stretching, make sure you're hydrating. And I neglected to mention that I am a certified yoga instructor and personal trainer. So I suggest that if any athletes are able to get to a gym or have a yoga instructor be involved with them in yoga, I suggest taking yoga to help with stretching and flexibility.
Awesome. Well, I've been wanting to get into yoga, so we'll definitely have to. You definitely have to give me tips in the future. Maybe when we're in Abu Dhabi and we meet up in person. So it's been a joy having you on the program, Trent. Once again, our guest has been Trent Hampton, a Special Olympics USA athlete competing in triathlon at our upcoming World Games 2019 in Abu Dhabi. Thank you again, Trent, for coming on the Special Chronicles show.
Thank you, Special Chronicles. Thank you, Dan.
Awesome. And folks, stay tuned because we'll let you know how you can join in the conversation and thank our sponsors at the very end of the program in just a couple quick seconds. So thank you again, Trent. And
thank you all. See you all in Abu Dhabi.
Yes, see you all in Abu Dhabi. And Trent, maybe together we can say our call to action at the end, which is remember, choose to include.
Remember to choose to include.
We say that one more time. I clicked the wrong button. And until next week, we remember
To choose to include.
Please join in the conversation. Tweet us your comments with hashtag Special Chronicles World Games. Tag at Special Chronicles on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And tag at Special C Podcast on Twitter. Text in your comments to us to feedback@specialchronicles.com. Simply enter that address into your text messaging app where you normally put someone's phone number, then type in your text message to us and it will instantly show up on the iPad in studio. This episode is sponsored by the Jenny and PJ Fortnell Foundation. We thank Jenny Fortnell and her family for their generous support of our mission at Special Chronicles. And also sponsored by Goldman Sachs, a financial institution. We thank them for the generous support of our mission at Special Chronicles. And this episode is also brought to you by listeners like you. Please join our supporters and help support us at Special Chronicles with your tax-deductible donation today to help continue our mission of giving respect and voice to people with special needs. Please go to specialchronicles.com/give. That's specialchronicles.com/give. We thank you for your generous support of our mission at Special Chronicles. Finally, Special Chronicles is proud to partner with the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program. The Energy Force is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. ComEd is powering lives and is really powering us here at Special Chronicles to keep the lights on and keep all the technology plugged in. Learn more at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. That's specialchronicles.com/ComEd. We thank ComEd for the generous support of Special Chronicles. Once again, for show notes and to follow our Special Olympics World Games 2019 coverage, please visit us at specialchronicles.com/WorldGamesAD. That's specialchronicles.com/WorldGamesAD. Our Special Olympics World Games 2019 podcast series on SpecialChronicles.com is produced in partnership with the Special Olympics USA communications team. We invite you to cheer for USA and follow at Special Olympics USA on social media and learn more about our USA delegation at SpecialOlympicsUSA.org. Until next week, remember, choose to include
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Well, that's the end of our audio podcast, and you guys can stay tuned on specialchronicles.com/WorldGamesAD. That information was on the graphic on the screen there, so you can stay tuned to the audio podcast, and it will also be up on our YouTube as well. So thanks again, once again, and it was a joy having Trent on the program. And make sure you follow at Special Olympics USA. Lots of awesome quotes that will be sure to tweet out at you guys. To tweet you guys some and post on Instagram some quotes from Trent, because definitely stuff that you are gonna want to share his story with all of your friends and family as we cheer for USA on the road to Abu Dhabi. With our coverage, our popular Special Olympics World Games coverage. So stay tuned, because we've got some more coverage and stories coming for you in the weeks ahead as we lead up less than 50 days until our Special Olympics World Games 2019 in Abu Dhabi. Stay tuned. And until next week, remember, choose to include.